I may be stupid. Nonetheless, I have exactly 10 tips to offer to any and all photographers who care to listen. Sound good? Alright, yeah, I thought you'd think so. Come on, let's get into it. Tip 1. Don't stress about your camera's resolution. For reference, a 4K TV's display is equal to an 8.3 megapixel sensor, and an iPhone 16 Pro Max has a 2868 by 1320 pixel resolution, making it about equal to a 2.4 megapixel sensor, except it's also the size of a phone. So your budget 12 megapixel camera's pictures are gonna look friggin' perfect on Instagram or whatever you use to share your pictures, even if you crop in a lot. Speaking of cropping in, tip 2, don't stress about cropping. Unless you're trying to make really big prints from a really small camera sensor, crop all you like. Reframing, recentering, or just wanting to focus in on a particular part of an image are all perfectly valid reasons to want to crop your image. Heavily, if you want. This whole video is cropped in from 16:9 to 4:3 because I wanted to reframe shots like this and remove some distractions. Cropping is just another tool in your creative toolbox, so use it. Tip 3. Don't fear the ISO. This may go against everything you think about ISO, but no one's going to see any noise you may be afraid of introducing to your image. Maybe there'll be a couple weird stray pixels in your extreme shadows, but that's it. No one is going to be zooming in far enough on your picture at high enough resolution to see those. Referring back to tip 1, phone small, camera resolution big. Just bump the ISO when it gets dark out. Tip 4, don't stress about your lens. If you're brand new to photography and you only have one lens, or haven't gotten your first camera yet, don't be afraid of your kit lens. In fact, I made a whole video about why you should use your kit lens until you're certain you need it to upgrade. But for the sake of this video, consider your kit lens a jack of all trades. An absolutely perfect starter lens. Tip 5. Don't give in to gas. Gear acquisition syndrome, or GAS, is the photographer's wallet's worst nightmare. Thousands of dollars gone on a whim in a single trip to Amazon, KEH, or B&H. What's the solution to this awful affliction? A little bit of self-control. A great tip I heard is to write down the things you really want, set that list aside for a week or two, and if by the end of that time you still really want whatever that thing is, go for it. Otherwise, save it. Tip 6. Print your pics every now and then. You don't have to get poster-sized prints made immediately, but it's a good idea to get some physical representations of your work made. Go down to your local office supply store and grab some glossy photo paper, throw it in an inkjet printer, and rattle off some of your favorite pics. Seeing them in front of you like that is like seeing them for the first time all over again. Plus, you can frame them, give them as gifts, do whatever you really want to with them. They're your pics after all. Tip 7. Vintage lenses were replaced for a reason. This one's going to be controversial with some of the more experienced photographers who decided to watch this video, but I'm standing firm on this. If a certain Soviet lens is anything to go by, not every piece of old glass with a weird quirk is worth using, even if they are super hyped up. Speaking of, tip 8. Don't give in to the hype. This one kind of feeds off a lot of the previous tips, but it's one I actually feel is one of the most important on the list. Hyped up cameras, lenses, and equipment aren't always worth buying for everybody. In my case, I fell for the Helios 44-2 hype and regret ever getting one. Legally obligated to note in post that maybe if you do cinema, it's a good lens, but it's not if you're a photographer. Okay, bye. Hypercrat's a phenomenon in all circles, not just photography, but it's really more expensive here. So if you see something get hyped up, do your own research before committing to that buy. Refer to tip 5 and save yourself a lot of headache and heartache. Tip 9. Keep your camera out. If you're new to photography, you may feel self-conscious about having your camera out and want to hide it away while you're walking around. But you need to overcome that fear as fast as you can, especially if you're wanting to get into street photography. Having your camera tucked away in your bag means you're not thinking about it as actively, and thus not thinking about your compositions. So your excuse of, oh, I'll take it out when I see a shot, it's not going to happen. Keep it in hand and keep looking for shots, and you'll end up taking more. Tip 10. There's no such thing as perfection. No matter what anyone may try to tell you or sell you, there's absolutely no such thing as perfect in photography. Or anything for that matter. No perfect camera settings, no perfect Lightroom preset, no perfect lens, perfect camera body, nothing. The only thing that really exists is your creativity and the vision you have for your scene. And if you're happy with the way your image turned out, then it's as perfect as it needs to be. And on that note, that's all I got for now. If you have any tips that I didn't mention in this video, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I might use them for a part 2, because there's nothing original under the sun. Until then, right here is the video I made about why you should use your kit lens more, and right here is the video about why you should use the Helios 44-2 less. Anyway, I've been Harrison, you've been you, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.